Here at the Michigan International Speedway, we have never seen speed so fast. So now we are seeing a new tire in to make things a little bit safer, and we are ready for one fast Sprint Cup Series qualifying session here in the shadow of Detroit, the Motor City. The Sprint Cup cars are on the grid and ready to shatter all records when it comes to setting the grid for 400 miles on Sunday and 400 fast miles. Hello, everybody. I'm John Roberts down here on the speed stage. So glad you could be with us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. And you know what? So far this weekend, the story has been speed. Speeds over 204, approaching 205 miles an hour. Greg Biffle topped the speed chart during yesterday's practice at almost 205, 204.708 miles per hour, and therefore NASCAR has made the decision to make a few changes. They have added a new left side tire to try to stop some of the blistering we've been seeing, and also they have added a practice session for this evening.
The time that we felt that the scuffing of the tires to try to harden them up would be sufficient. But as the day went on, the grip level continued to increase, speeds continued to increase, and you know, early last evening, the trigger was pulled to pull that left side off and put another left side on for the race. Qualifying will be the tires that we have run here for the last couple of days.
And want to bring in our good friend Jeff Hammond. And Jeff, it's not unusual for NASCAR to make a change throughout the course of the weekend for safety or competition, but it is pretty unusual to see these kind of speeds. What are the crew chiefs saying? A
lot of the crew chiefs right now, they've been able to deal with the speeds. They understand what's been going on there, but with the fact of the blistering, they've really been concerned. They've done the things that Goodyear asked them to do. It didn't solve the problem. So now when they go to this tougher left side tire, it's going to be harder to hook the car up. The drivers probably won't be quite as happy, and the speed should be slower.
All right, so right now we're dealing with speeds well over 200 miles per hour. In that practice session, there were more than 14 teams over that 200 mile per hour barrier. And also, Jeff, the safety issue that comes into concern is something you got to look at.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing about Goodyear, as well as NASCAR. They're going to err on the side of safety, folks, because you got to understand, you get out there running speeds, you know, if you're running 204 average lap, that means you're about 218 down in these corners. Side by side, something happens, it's going to be a bad accident. And we don't want to see anybody get hurt. Unnecessary tearing up, you know, a race car when you can prevent it. And that's the good thing about NASCAR and Goodyear working together. They had a backup plan. This tire had been raced at Charlotte in 2006 and 2007 after the Charlotte's repaved, so they've got experience with it. They were able to bring the information that Goodyear has available back to the racetrack, to the engineers. They've been working on it since final practice on Friday, so now they feel like they're prepared with the 75-minute practice we're going to get later on this afternoon. The team should be ready for tomorrow's race.
Even more of a reason to keep your eye on the Michigan International Speedway this weekend, and if you have the ability, please come out. It's going to be one heck of a show this afternoon and tomorrow. Sprint Cup Series qualifying is coming your way next, where we expect to shatter any track record. Sprint Cup Series practice will be very interesting as teams learn a lot, and that will be covered live on Speed at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Then we will wrap up the entire day, including the 24-hour of Le Mans on Speed Center, and that is following Sprint Cup Series practice, 75 minutes tonight. And here is a tweet from Jimmy Johnson. He wanted to compete in the Father's Day Olympics for MRO, but man, he says this tire deal is killing me. I had big plans for this afternoon, and now we have practice, so Jimmy will be behind the wheel to 48 this afternoon. We'll see in a little while where he qualifies.
Rawl introduces the lithium-ion shaver with twice the uses and the trifecta of a full-size shaver, trimmer, and detailer. It's the power to look your best. The Rawl lithium-ion shaver.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
I kind of knew their reaction would be a little like, you know, what are you thinking?
I had a knot in my chest. I didn't really want her to go, but I knew she could do it.
I felt like there were bigger and better things for me to do.
She took what she was doing seriously.
My self-confidence just went through the roof.
It was awesome to see her transform from a girl in a small town to a soldier.
You made them strong. We'll make them Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about joining the Army. Find out how at goarmy.com/parents.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mac and cheese.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mac and cheese.
Now you don't have to pick a side. Buy any KFC 10-piece meal or larger and choose 2 more large sides free. Today tastes so good.
On this turn, a young man realized what he would do the rest of his life. On this spot, a little girl put down her dolls and picked up a race car. On this site, a weekend endeavor was transformed into a lifelong obsession.
NASCAR home tracks, where a single moment can turn a day at the track into a lifetime at the track.
Welcome back to Michigan, everyone. It's Sprint Cup Series qualifying, where we are just moments away from setting the grid for Sunday's 400-miler, as some of the stars of NASCAR are getting ready to qualify and also do double duty in what should be a very interesting nationwide series race this afternoon. Wendy Venturini is standing by with one of the Michigan natives who is getting ready to do double duty. Let's check in with Wendy.
Brad Keselowski will go out 5th in this qualifying session, but first we have a long night ahead of us, Brad. We know that the extra session that's added for practice tonight, the new tires that have been brought in from North Carolina, what do you feel this will make a difference with those new left side tires for your car?
Well, we don't know. I think there's a lot of unknowns with the tires coming in tonight, like you said, and what they're going to do to the cars. I was a part of the tire test here a few months back, and sometimes we switch tires that were supposed to be faster or slower, and they weren't. So it could slow the cars down. It might even speed them up, so we don't know. So that's why we're going to practice them tonight and see what happens, and make sure we do all we can to ensure the best race tomorrow for everyone that comes out to Michigan.
All right, well, good luck in qualifying. Good luck out there tonight with those new tires. Brad Keselowski, Michigan is his home state, even though I don't agree with the hat, Johnny.
Wendy, thanks a lot. Let's take a look at the speeds we've seen here before. Fastest pole speeds, and this should, all these records should be shattered today, Jeff. And one thing about the afternoon practice today, Michigan is at the far end of Eastern Standard Time, so the sun stays out very late here. 6 o'clock should be a hot part of the day.
It's still going to be pretty warm and everything, and because we don't have lights here, so it's not going to matter. But what gets me is these records, they will be going down, JR. They'll be broken because it's going to be a fast qualifying deal with this new tire. There are definitely going to be several cars that are going to jump way up in the 200-mile-an-hour bracket.
What do you think we're going to see?
I honestly think we're going to see probably a 205 lap. I mean, the racetrack's pretty hot right now, but I don't know how much faster they can trim these cars out for qualifying. It will be interesting because whoever puts their name on the board, it's going to stay there for a long time.
Absolutely going to be a record set today at Michigan. Going to be something to watch for, and also throughout the rest of the weekend as well, as we are ready for some serious speed here in the shadow of Detroit, the Motor City. They are famous for muscle cars, and these engines on the Sprint Cup cars are showing some serious muscle. Now, additional Sprint Cup Series practice can be seen at 6 o'clock Eastern Time live on Speed. But right now it is time to set the grid for Sunday's race as the stars of NASCAR do battle with this smooth, fast pavement here at Michigan. So right now, let's send you high atop of the Michigan International Speedway for Sprint Cup Series qualifying and Rick Allen.
Thank you, John Roberts. The field all on pit road, getting ready to come out. Who will be the track record holder? Who will be able to go over 200 miles an hour and post that big qualifying mark? NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying presented by Golden Corral about to get underway. 85 degrees the temperature. One thing that I'm sure the crew chiefs and drivers are liking, there are some clouds in the sky right now, which cloud cover at a racetrack normally means higher speeds. And unbelievable speeds is what we've seen already since Thursday when they were here for a practice session. Friday they were extremely fast, and now it's time to test just who is the fastest. As a driver, are you at all concerned about that?
Larry, this is one of those days when please tell me to pull them belts tight one more time.
Maybe a second time.
Maybe even when I'm coming to get the green, because I'm going to need it. But you know, the thing that kind of shocks me is 205 miles an hour, right at it yesterday, Greg Beffel. But all the drivers, I talked to every one of them, they said it doesn't feel like it. it doesn't feel like the cars are going that fast. And I just think that's a real testament to NASCAR and what they've been able to do with this car, safety, the tracks, all the things in the car. Everybody seems to be comfortable with these high speeds, and I know I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Don't know that if I was out there I'd be comfortable though, Larry.
Is the word comfortable, Larry?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I've got to convince him that this thing has more grip than you could ever think about having, so just go out there, and there's no question. We're going to run over 200 miles an hour. The question, how many drivers will truly do it? I'm excited. We have not seen a pole qualifying run at 200-plus miles an hour in 25 years. Bill Elliott was the last one to do it in 1987. It only has been done 17 times by 3 different drivers, Bill Elliott, Cale Yarborough, and Benny Parsons, who did it in 82. So I'm telling you, watch this qualifying session. We're going to see something we hadn't seen in a long time. Some of you've never seen.
This is definitely a milestone day for NASCAR. I put it right up there with what Benny Parsons did, the first one to ever qualify over 200 miles an hour. Here's our Golden Corral track description. Again, a repaved surface, this 2-mile surface. The racing surface is about 50 feet wide. What they're going to run on is about 12 feet wide. First car out onto the racetrack, and that will be Tony Raines. The old track record from here at Michigan, 194.232, set by Ryan Newman back in 2005. That might get shattered by the field.
Rick, that's a warm-up lap. And it's going to warm up at 194.
Now, there was a lot of questions. Okay, we know David Ruderman drove the 51 car that Kurt Busch is back in this week. Why is he not in the 10 car? David Ruderman will be back in the 10 car in a couple of weeks when we get to Kentucky Motor Speedway.
We talked about comfort just moments ago. One of the things that was a little uncomfortable was Goodyear. They decided that they didn't think that the comfort level was the way they wanted it to be at the speeds they were seeing, and so one of the big topics has been that there will be a different left side tires that they will be able to practice on at 6 o'clock this evening, and that practice will be right here on Speed, so you'll want to tune in and watch to see how the teams will adjust to that new left side tire. We see Tony Raines posting the first mark, 188.216, and it looks like one and done for Tony. So the first car has made it out on the racetrack in this historic day. You don't want to turn the channel. We're going to see crazy speeds.
A trailblazer is not afraid of the unknown. He pioneers the way for others to follow, always searching for unmarked territory, on the ground or slightly above. Guts, glory, Ram.
From Golden Corral, the restaurant that brought you the incredible chocolate wonderfall, 2 words.
Cotton
candy. I didn't think they could top the chocolate wonderfall.
Until now. Cotton candy and the chocolate wonderfall, both part of our endless buffet for one low price, only at Golden Corral.
Remember when taking a bath and going for a swim became the same thing for a few days? Then keep the tradition going at Bass Pro Shops Family Summer Camp. Check out the Tahoe Q5i runabout starting at just $23,995. Life looks better in a Tahoe.
We now offer phone service as low as $1.70 a month with Magic Jack Plus. That's $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. No computer needed. Nothing changes. And now keep your old phone number. Get Magic Jack Plus at Radio Shack.
Bounce any checks lately? These days, banks can charge up to $30 a pop. But what about those checks you have to write? Call or go to moneymutual.com. We have the largest network of short-term lenders who could get you up to $1,000 in your checking account by tomorrow. No more bounced checks, no collection calls, no shut-off of services. Just be 18 or older with a minimum income of $800 a month. For short-term cash when you need it fast, go to moneymutual.com or call 1-800-585-CASH now.
The odds of becoming a successful NASCAR driver, 1 in 125 billion. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110.
Jamie McMurray encourages you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Speed presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying from Michigan is presented by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. And brought to you in part by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Ken Schrader just bringing the Federated Auto Parts number 32 back to pit road after his qualifying lap. He goes one and done as well, but quicker than Tony Raines, 37.768, a little closer to what he practiced at. Tony Raines was way off of what his practice speed was.
Yeah, Schrader just a skosh slower, but Tony Raines way off his pace from yesterday.
Travis Kvapil out on the racetrack in the Burger King 93.
Now, Larry, I mean, you know, we had an ARCA race here, and that ARCA cars, you know, we talk about the difference in the rubber, and they have Hoosier tires, and it might take 4, 5, 6 cars here to get this track, get that rubber burned off of it.
Yeah, we did have 43 Nationwide Series drivers that qualified it a little earlier, so I think we'll have to go a few drivers into this field before we truly know where this track's at.
Compared to yesterday's practice, we saw them practice under the heat, the sun beating down on this racetrack, still able to turn speeds upwards of 205 miles an hour. So we shouldn't expect much different today, even though there is still that question mark of the left side tires being changed.
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer, and the humidity is a little bit higher, but not enough that it's going to knock a lot of speed out of those fast cars that are going to go out late.
Yeah, we thought on Thursday from the morning test session to the afternoon that they were going to slow down. They just kept getting faster.
And it seems like every practice session they have continued to get faster no matter what the temperature's been like.
Travis Kvapil to the top there at a 193.
Goes 37.28 to top the charts. Let's go to Marty Snyder.
Hanging out with Jeff Burton. When was the last time we had a crazy weekend like this with a speed, tire change in the middle of it, added practice? I can't remember when the last time we had a weekend like this was.
Dover. I remember Dover. We put tires on Sunday morning one time and had practice on Sunday morning. But, you know, Goodyear's doing the right thing. NASCAR's doing the right thing. If we have a potential tire problem, the safe thing to do is put different tires on it. Everybody has the same tire. So even if the pace comes off, it doesn't matter. What matters is having a good race and having a safe race. So it's 100% the right thing to do. It's going to change the game plan. We've been here for 3 days. Certainly setup stuff's going to have to change with this tire, but, you know, again, that falls to the best teams and the best drivers. They're going to adapt to it the quickest.
End of the day, what pole speed do you think we'll have today?
2.0 fast.
2.0 fast. Brad Keselowski told me, guys, about 204 range is where he expects it to be, Rick.
Yeah, and I want to remind people that we're still on the tires that they tested on, that they practiced on. That change doesn't take place until after qualifying. They'll give them new left side tires. That's why they're going to have a practice session this evening at 6. But right now, these are the same tires they have tested and practiced on all weekend.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, this is where all your tests and everything's been done. Let's get the cars qualified and then give these guys a chance to go in there and make some changes to the cars and get a race set up on the car.
And Jeff Burton mentioned the Dover change. That was back in 1995. Kyle Petty won that race. But actually, March a year ago at Bristol, we had a tire change between one practice and the other on Saturday after qualifying.
Now it's Stacy Compton's turn on the clock. His first lap, second quick, 37.339. One of the drivers that has to qualify in on time.
Yeah, Stacy did not qualify for the race at Texas, but he made the race last week at Pocono.
Goes to the top of the charts. His second lap, 37.189, 193.606 miles per hour.
Nice pickup. Might be just what he needed.
Racing against the other go-or-go-homers that have to fight their way into this field. David Strimmy, Joe Nemechek, Josh Wise, J.J. Yaley, Scott Riggs, Mike Bliss, Austin Dillon, Trevor Bayne, Michael McDowell, all drivers that have to race their way into this field.
Stacy had him a couple of drivers that he's had in this car, and most of them have failed to make the race. He's been in it 2 weeks in a row now, and I think he may make this one.
Yeah, that's a good lap for Stacy Compton. Now, Brad Keselowski out there in the Miller Lite Dodge.
Yeah, I'll be anxious to see what Brad can run here. I went into the garage area after final practice yesterday, and this group, in fact, both the Penske drivers, Allmendinger and Keselowski, not very happy. They had this car tore apart down there in the garage area last night.
You know, when you watch these cars run around this racetrack, we've always been told the fastest way around is at the bottom, but they still drift up about midway through these turns. And that seems to be the fastest way around the racetrack now.
Well, believe it or not, when they repaved this track, they've realized this thing's got a little progressive banking in it, and that bottom groove is pretty flat. And you get in on that bottom groove, it causes the car to move up the track, so they're avoiding that by just going in a little higher.
We see Keselowski on his first lap go to the top of the charts. 36.317, a huge pickup for Brad.
We saw 210 miles an hour as he went off into turn 3 that last lap. Looks like Brad Keselowski's going to play 2 here.
Could Brad be the first one to break 200 miles an hour in this qualifying session? Again, it's a big deal in practice to see guys going 200, but this one goes in the record books. Whoever has the fastest lap here goes in the record books, and he will be the 4th person in the history of NASCAR to post a mark over 200 miles an hour in qualifying to win the pole. Brad Keselowski, 36.277, 198.473 miles an hour.
Get it fixed, Curly boy!
Catch an all-new episode of Hot Pot South Bronx, Tuesday, only on Speed.
Your car is everything. Your taxi, your moving van, your baby. And for over 30 years, AutoZone has had the parts you can count on to keep it going. But parts are just part of what we do. We're part buddy, part mentor, part of the American way of doing things. So whether you're Mr. DIY or a master mechanic, AutoZone has your back. Parts are just part of what we do.
Get in the zone!
AutoZone.
When you pay too much for cable, you feel powerless. When you feel powerless, you want to take the power back. When you want to take the power back, you take karate. When you take karate, you want to use your karate. When you want to use your karate, you become the fist of goodness. When you become the fist of goodness, you run along rooftops. And when you run along rooftops, you fall into a dinner party. Don't fall into a dinner party. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Let's pretend you had a magic outlet. You could use it to quietly power lots of things, even when there was no electricity. It was lightweight and came in different sizes. That's exactly the idea behind Honda portable generators. Quiet, reliable, and fuel efficient. They're not really magic, but they can make magical things happen. Honda, the power of dreams.
Welcome back. Bobby Labonte coming off the racetrack. One and done for Labonte, 36.475. He is second quick in this qualifying session. 6 have been on the racetrack. The quickest has been Brad Keselowski, 36.277, and that is 0.7 of a second faster than what he ran in practice. Ralph, has he been wolfing us?
Well, let's see. We'll see if we can stick a mic in here and get a word from Brad real quick. They're pushing the car. Brad, what can you tell us about your run?
It was definitely an improvement on what we saw yesterday, but that's not going to be, at the top for, I don't think, for today. But an improvement, and I'm proud of our team for finding some speed. We just got to keep working.
Any surprises out on the racetrack, the way the car or the tires handle going into 1 or 3?
Yeah, I was surprised I didn't run any faster. I mean, I damn near ran it wide open in a Cup car, and it was as fast as it goes, so I was a little confused by that.
Something to keep an eye on.
Well, that supports what they told me yesterday in the garage area, that they just couldn't find the speed they were looking for with that 2 car.
Yeah, all the driver can do is hold the accelerator all the way to the floor. You can't do it anymore. So if you can't find the speed, you've got to obviously trim the car down or make adjustments to get that thing a little quicker through the air.
Sometimes holding it wide open, I know it sounds contrary to what you might believe, but sometimes trying to hold it wide open will actually slow the car down. Because you'll hear most of these guys, they'll burp the throttle a little bit, corner entry early on, let the car take a set and then be wide open up off the corner. That seems to be the hot tip.
Landon Castle, third quick, one and done for him as well. 36.532 for Landon Castle.
And Rick, every car is different. I mean, if you don't have the straightaway speed, obviously you could run the car into the corner maybe a little further, maybe even wide open. But if you got high speed down the straightaway, which most of these guys do, you got to let off a little bit to get it turned.
Yeah. Castle bringing the Burger King 83 back into the pits. Big story last week. Kurt Busch wasn't behind the wheel of the 51. NASCAR sat him out of last weekend's events, and now back behind the wheel. Added pressure for Kurt Busch.
After David Rudiman did a wonderful job in that car last week. What did he finish like
21st.
Ended up finishing 21st and never really overcame that pit road speeding penalty. But yeah, James Finch and Kurt Busch, they met on Tuesday. They elected to move forward. It's a race-to-race deal. But I think one of the biggest things that James Finch is looking for is race cars that are not tore up at the end of the day. I think he's trying to convince Kurt, if it's a 15th place race car, let's make sure we capitalize on that. Let's don't try to run 5th and end up 35th in the garage area tore up.
And working all week long to fix that car once again. Kurt Busch goes 2 laps. His first lap 36.320. Actually, he's going to be one and done as well.
Yeah,
so that was
he
first
actually
lap.
he actually ran a 35.81 in the second practice yesterday.
So about 0.5 of a second slower than what he was able to run. And Kurt Busch currently second quick on the charts.
Sunday, did Kurt deserve another chance? We'll debate the decision to keep Busch in the 51. Plus, Joey Logano and Mark Martin join us live. NASCAR Race Day fueled by Sunoco, Sunday at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
And that is where babies come from.
Dad, I have a question.
You do?
Does the asymmetrical tread pattern of a tire have any effect on stopping distance?
There's a better place to ask questions about your tires. TireRack.com. Right now, get a $50 Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 select Kumho tires. For details, go to TireRack.com/TV. TireRack.com. Research, buy, deliver, install.
I kind of knew their reaction would be a little like, what are you thinking?
I had a knot in my chest. I didn't really want her to go, but I knew she could do it.
I felt like there were bigger and better things for me to do.
She took what she was doing seriously.
My self-confidence just went through the roof.
It was awesome to see her transform from a girl in a small town to a soldier.
You made them strong. We'll make them Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about joining the Army. Find out how at goarmy.com/parents.
The left lane is a club. If you're unsure if you belong in the club, you do not belong. Apply for membership with new, stronger STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner and enjoy the benefits of the left lane.
Pizza Hut believes you deserve better than a boring sub. Say hello to the Pizzolo in meat trio, Italian steak, or buffalo chicken. Get 1 for $3 or 2 for $5. Pizza Hut. Make it great.
Regan Smith tops the charts now, the 9 that have been on the racetrack. His Chevrolet, the first to break 200 miles an hour. He goes 35.870. That's seconds, 200.725 miles an hour. Let's check out an American ethanol fast fact. Ethanol reduces carbon buildup in inches. The higher the ethanol blend, the lower the buildup. I'll give you those tidbits, just from time to time.
Thank you, Rick.
Just to keep you guys up to speed.
Well, growing up in the Midwest, you ought to be all over
I was around
that.
corn every day.
Yes, sir. Well, let's see how Mr. Too Old Fast is going to do here.
And Jeff Burton, his fastest lap over the 3 days has been 200.072. His first lap, 36.538. Not even close to that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be real happy with that lap right there.
197.055 for Jeff Burton. Only 3 drivers have run 2 laps. Brad Keselowski, Stacy Compton, Travis Kvapil. Let's go back trackside to Marty Snyder.
Well, we talked about the Penske car struggling a little bit yesterday, so you probably watched your teammates lap and said, hey, that wasn't too bad. That's better than yesterday.
It was the quickest lap he's run so far this weekend. It's it's a struggle. We don't quite have the balance, just don't have the outright speed right now, but everybody in the Shell Pennzoil Dodge has been working hard. We've made gains. We've gotten closer. We're definitely not where we want to be yet, but I think we're going to have a little new plans here with the new tires, so we'll see what this 6 o'clock practice session gives us, but we'll keep working on it hard. That's all we can do.
Sure, Larry Mack's been through this. He told me the worst part is you just didn't really know where to go. The car just didn't flat have speed yesterday.
Well, and to your point, Rick, all you can do is try to, if your driver's holding it wide open, and you're here and you're getting ready to race, all you can do is try to start trimming it out and make sure you don't hurt the drivability of the race car.
And now we're seeing Casey Mears on the racetrack. I don't want to steal your thunder as a meteorologist, but It's overcast right now.
It
the
is
sun's not
overcast.
beating down on the track. Is that a good sight for a driver?
That's going to help grip. It's still, as Darrell and I were talking before the show, it's still hot outside, but definitely I think we're going to see where this picks the grip up.
Casey Mears goes second quick in his qualifying run, 36.262. Harvick, Nemechek, Jimmy Johnson coming up.
June 28th on Speed. The battle is on in the Bluegrass State.
Drives it in there hard.
Live NASCAR Camping World Truck Series action from Kentucky kicks off June 28th at 5 Eastern on Speed.
Welcome to the block party.
Need to restore your headlights? McGuire's heavy-duty restoration kit repairs even the most oxidized lenses. Simply sand, buff, and polish.
I'm gonna break.
Game on. You'll be ready to get back into the game quickly. McGuire's, the clear choice.
FinallyFast.com saved my computer. It was so slow, virtually useless. I was this close to tossing it. Then I tried FinallyFast.com and it fixed the problem. I got my speed and my sanity back.
If your computer runs slow, freezes, or gives error messages, get answers now with a free diagnosis at FinallyFast.com.
A virus forced me to throw away a perfectly good computer. Now I keep it safe with FinallyFast.com.
Take the next step to a faster, safer computer. Go to FinallyFast.com.
As a former military police officer, I know the importance of computer security. That's why I trust FinallyFast.com to protect my PC.
The very minute I ran Finally Fast, I saw an improvement in speed.
Finally Fast can diagnose your computer and get it running at peak performance, whether it's older or brand new.
Finally Fast.
Finally Fast.
FinallyFast.com.
Get your free diagnosis now at FinallyFast.com.
David Stremme, one of the drivers that's qualifying to get into this race, and he was able to outdo Stacy Compton. His first lap was his quickest at 37.057, slowed down just a bit on lap number 2. Stremme going 194.295.
He was making me nervous with that run, but last week he had a pretty fast car and he ended up hitting the wall coming off of turn 1 at Pocono. Missed the show. Got a little nervous down in turn 1 this time, but he pulled it back under and made a decent run.
The guys that are racing to get in have to beat 2 drivers. The go homers. Kevin Harvick now on the racetrack. Harvick was able to turn a lap at 202.954 miles an hour.
Man, he's got a problem.
Yeah,
he's slowing down. And
he got out of the groove, it looked like, in turn 4 and decided that wasn't going to work.
Well, Larry, I think one of the things these guys are struggling with, Larry, are the tires that they're going out on. Yikes, what's that nose? There was a debate. There was a debate about stickers and scuffs, and I'm just wondering if some of these guys maybe think they may have made the wrong decision here.
Now, what Kevin Harvick is doing is perfectly legal. He has not taken the green flag. What he's going to do, he's probably going to go all the way back. If he's smart, he's going to go all the way back around at least to the exit of pit road, because you need to build your speed, and you need to build it fast, especially through 3 and 4 come to take the green.
One thing he's doing that I would not have done, he's on the apron. Man, he should have gotten back up on the racetrack. He's going to pick up a lot of dirt and debris on those tires. I think he should have. You can hear he's coasting. He don't want to get the engine hot, but I would get up in the race on the racetrack.
So you see the Budweiser logo on the side of the 29 and the stars, one of our all-stars in the Sprint Cup Series. Well, how about the all-stars of the Major League Baseball? This July, don't miss the biggest event of the summer. Baseball greatest stars go battle for home field advantage in the Fall Classic. The road to the World Series begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game. That's Tuesday, July 10th, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox.
Unless the engine was getting hot, I don't like what he did right there. He's not going to be up to speed. Looks like to me, yeah, he's not going to be up to speed when he takes the green flag.
Yeah, he should have come all the way. He gave up about a quarter of a mile there that he could have come on around and gotten up his speed. Apparently, he thinks he's going to run both these laps, and this first one he's just going to throw away.
But you got to believe that engine already is pretty warm.
So coming to take the green now, Kevin Harvick. crosses the stripe. He's officially on the clock. The needle didn't dip too far when he crossed the stripe.
210 into turn 1. That's not too bad.
And right now he's tracking pole. So down the back stretch he goes. Harvick, again, a little bit longer of a qualifying run here, but he didn't take that first green on his coming up to speed lap. So we'll see how it works out for him.
Car looks okay this lap.
It's going to be a great lap.
Top of the charts, 35.637, 202.037 miles an hour.
There, I like everything he did. You know, coming around on the apron and not coming all the way around. And
not going all the way back.
That was really smart.
Getting the engine hot.
Oh, yeah, the engine got hot. I like all that.
It's unbelievable how quickly your tune changes up
That's
here.
Perfect, man.
Let's go trackside to Marty.
And I've caught up with the most recent race winner, Joey Logano. You can get in the car. That's okay. Do your job, man. I'm just here hanging out. You still riding the high from Pocono last week?
Yeah, of course I am. And I think I got another good one today. I think I got a car that's capable of qualifying up towards the front. And we'll see. You know, and then we got another practice tonight now, so that's going to change everything a little bit. But we got a Home Depot car that's good, and I got a Dollar General car that's capable of winning, you know, here in a little bit in the nationwide side. So trying to ride the momentum, ride the wave as long as we can, and keep winning these races.
On Tuesday, you learned how to drift. So just a hint, drifting here, not good, okay?
Not good. I learned how to control it better, but it's not faster, that's for sure.
If you want, you can take Larry Mack and DW for a drift ride. I'm sure they would love it.
I'd like to go Larry for a ride. That'd be a good time.
Come on, Larry Mack. He's inviting you into that drift car. I think it'd be a lot of fun, my man.
I think I'll just stay right where I'm at.
Yeah, I've had about all the fun rides I want for 1 year.
Australia.
And then the prelude with Tony
Eldora.
Stewart. But I'm getting some thrills, I can tell you that.
You like to have the steering wheel in your hand, right?
Never thought I'd do some of the silly things I've done.
And it looks like Joe Nemechek is going to be right on top. In fact, he beats David Stremme and Stacy Compton. Joe Nemechek will race tomorrow in this 400-mile race.
Locks himself into the show. Nemechek on his first qualifying lap goes 36.591, ninth quick.
There, a real neat story quickly about John Hunter Nemechek, Joe's 15-year-old son. In fact, he turned 15 on Monday. He went to Milwaukee for that ASA Midwest Tour Super Late Model, sat on the pole, beat Chase Elliott, David Stremme, Rusty Wallace, Matt Kenseth. But he did that on Tuesday, started driver's ed on Thursday.
I'd love to be his driver.
There's no such thing as too young anymore.
His driver's education instructor would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, what about
what are you doing?
What about Burton's son? I mean, what is he?
Yeah.
He's only 11
or 12,
and he's practicing a late model.
Yeah,
the one that Jeff ran up there at Richmond.
Jimmy Johnson now brings his Lowe's Chevrolet out onto the racetrack for his qualifying run. On top of the charts, 2 Chevrolets up to this point. Kevin Harvick, Regan Smith. They are currently 1 and 2, both over 200 miles an hour.
Now, this is one of 5 tracks that Jimmy has not won at, but I think that's so deceiving. If you just look at 2009 alone, the June race, he led 146 laps, ran out of fuel on the white flag lap, finished 22nd. In August, he led 133 laps, leading out of fuel with 2 laps to go, and finished 33rd.
Jimmy Johnson, Chad Knaus.
Chad Knaus is on line 1, Larry.
He will call me out about that.
I was going to say, your phone's probably vibrating,
it's vibrating
right now.
I don't know what it means, but it's vibrating.
Johnson across the stripe, 35.789. He also goes over 200. 201.179 for Jimmy Johnson, but it's second quick to Kevin Harvick.
Tom Carnegie, he'd be worn out after this qualifying session with a new track record because we obviously are shattering that baby at 194.
Yeah, of the drivers that have been out there, the top 10 have all bettered the old track record. And now making his way out onto the track, A.J. Allmendinger. Allmendinger was able to go 200.574 in the practice session yesterday. See if he can better that mark. We just saw Jimmy Johnson run very, very similar to what he had run in practice. So backing up his practice speed, if that continues to be the norm, then we would see Greg Biffle go 2-0 fast.
Darryl, really fast.
I keep seeing more and more drivers really working these tires down the back straightaway, trying to get heat in them. That may have been the one thing that Kevin Harvick accomplished the most, was having some heat in those tires.
Sure appeared that way, Larry, because he did a nice job. That's a great recovery.
A.J. Allmendinger got the pole at Kansas earlier this year.
Best start here at Michigan, 6th. That was back in 2009.
See, they are screaming, these engines.
It's going to be a pretty good lap for A.J. He's going to be in the top 5 for now.
Crosses 4th quick, 36.010 for A.J. Allmendinger. Coming up, Marcus Ambrose, Joey Logano, and Jamie McMurray will be on the clock.
A new car, please.
There are things way in front of that.
These days, everyone needs to make what they have last, and your car's transmission should not be overlooked. Lucas Transmission Fix keeps your automatic or manual transmission performing like new. It stops slipping and rough shifting while eliminating most seal leaks, increasing its life.
Yeah, she's got me this far. I think I'll stick with her.
Give yourself a little less worry with Lucas Transmission Fix.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mac and cheese.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Mac and cheese.
Now you don't have to pick a side. Buy any KFC 10-piece meal or larger and choose 2 more large sides free. Today tastes so good.
I pledge for the right to bear tongs.
For delicious rubs and marinades for all.
McCormick Grill Mates invites you to take your flavor to the next level. Join Grill Mates and join the Grillerhood.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
In NASCAR, we all share a connection. It's a connection that fills us with a sense of pride, compassion, hope. It's a spirit that shows its true power when someone needs us most. Because when someone needs us, NASCAR unites. Join us for NASCAR Unites, an American salute, to celebrate America and honor our troops. Learn how at NASCAR.com/unites.
Welcome back. Sprint Cup Series qualifying presented by Golden Corral continues. Josh Wise brings his race car onto pit road after his qualifying effort. He was 8th quick on the racetrack, 36.419, 197.699 for Josh.
He's locked in. He and Joe Nemechek, they will race tomorrow.
J.J. Yaley the next to take time in the 49, 29-year-old on the clock.
JJ actually has a pole here. Did it back in 2007 when we was driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, the 18 car.
Whoa, hang on to it, JJ. That got a little loose on him, stepped out there.
I bet the dice went a-spinning when that happened. You know, Larry, that lap by Kevin Harvick at 2:02, that's one of the quickest laps that we've seen in testing and practice yesterday.
I think if you look at a shot of JJ's car going down the straightaway, I think it's one of the reasons that he got loose. These, especially these go-homers, were kind of walking a fine line between downforce and trimming it out. It's like they've really got the back of this car traveled down to get that spoiler out of the air to try to help the straightaway speed. It hurt him last time off of turn 2.
That's about as low as anybody I've seen right there. That is sunk down in the back compared to what we normally see.
Yeah, when you look at the relationship of the quarter panel to the rear tire, that tells you how much it's traveled down.
Going for a second lap. Didn't like the first one.
You're good.
He is locked in.
Yeah, he's fine. I'm not sure.
I think they finally told him.
Yeah, somebody got on the radio and said, okay, you're in, buddy.
earlier, bud.
So Yaley will be 13th quick at 36.901. So Yaley goes 195. Also breaking the old track record, but still everyone gunning for the 202 mark, which Kevin Harvick has already posted.
Sunday. Did Kurt deserve another chance? We'll debate the decision to keep Busch in the 51. Plus, Joey Logano and Mark Martin join us live. NASCAR Race Day fueled by Sunoco, Sunday at 10 Eastern, only on Speed.
From Golden Corral, the restaurant that brought you the incredible chocolate wonderfall, 2 words.
Cotton
candy. Yup, it's cotton candy time at Golden Corral from the folks that brought you the chocolate wonderfall.
I didn't think they could top the chocolate wonderfall.
Until now.
This must be one of those only Golden Corral kind of things.
Cotton candy and the chocolate wonderfall, both part of our endless buffet for one incredibly low price.
It's terrific. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness.
Let's face it, handheld string trimmers are hard-starting backbreakers that are too weak to do an effective job. But the good news is you don't have to struggle with these things anymore. The legendary DR trimmer mower starts instantly, rolls on 2 big wheels, and cuts a 22-inch path with 5 times the power of handheld trimmers. Thick weeds and tall grass don't stand a chance. Use the DR to trim in every corner of your property, including tight spots where a mower just can't fit, along garden borders, fence lines, and stone walls. So start trimming and mowing the right way, the DR way, with a DR trimmer mower.
Call 1-800-208-4592 for your free DR catalog and DVD. You'll learn how you can try a DR trimmer mower for 6 months. Free shipping is now in effect, so call 1-800-208-4592. Online at drtrimmers.com.
DR is professional power for homeowners.
Speed's coverage of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying for Michigan is presented by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. Brought to you in part by American Ethanol, American-grown, American-made, powering NASCAR. And by Alka-Seltzer. Choose Alka-Seltzer for faster heartburn relief than Prilosec OTC. I'm guessing there's going to be a few people with heartburn that probably want to take advantage of some of that Alka-Seltzer. Coming off the racetrack, Scott Riggs in the 23. He's 5th quick in that qualifying run, locking himself into the race. 36.095 for Scott.
That's a great lap for that 23
It really
car.
is. I mean, that's 5th quick. Nice run. There's a guy that was bad fast yesterday.
You were talking earlier about where does Kevin Harvick's lap rank as far as what's taking place this weekend. He is the 5th quickest, or 4th quickest, no, 5th quickest lap turned of anyone over the last 3 days. How about the Fords?
Ambrose just kind of locked over there.
2:10 into turn 3.
Tracking number 1 for Marcus Ambrose. Can he hold on to it? Coming out of 4, goes all the way down to the apron, across the stripe. Ambrose goes 2:03.241.
Yeah, that's what he went yesterday. That's a fast Ford right there.
They've got that car down in the back, but it looked like it was stuck to the racetrack as well.
It better be. 2:03.2, you better be stuck on the racetrack.
And now let's go down trackside for our Armor All pit report for Ralph Shaheen.
You know, Rick, all these tires you see down here in the Goodyear area, these are all the right side tires we've been using all weekend. All the Goodyear guys have really been working hard getting these ready for that 6 o'clock practice coming up a little later on this afternoon. Right now, all these Goodyear guys in the blue shirts taking a bit of a break because the 1200 tires that are the new/old left side tires that we're going to use tonight, well, they have been shipped here from Charlotte in some transporters. Now, those transporters got here a little while ago, but they're stuck on the outside of the racetrack because qualifying got underway before they could cross the track. So they're being loaded into pickup trucks. Those tires are being shuttled into the racetrack here, and pretty soon these guys here are going to be real busy mounting those new/old left side tires that these guys have not raced since 2007.
DW, you said it perfectly right before the broadcast. You said this is the calm before the storm. That's exactly what it is down there.
And then the reason they're not panicking is they're only going to give each team 2 sets of left side tires. So they got to mount 2 sets of left side tires.
For practice.
For practice. Yeah, for today.
They'll get 10 for the race.
And then they got all night to mount the rest of them.
Joey Logano on the racetrack goes 3rd quick in his qualifying run, 35.777. That's 2:01.247. By the way, Marcus Ambrose's 2:03.241 the second fastest lap turned all weekend.
That win by Joey Logano at Pocono, yeah, it was his first top 5 finish of 2012. It was actually his first top 5 finish since Watkins Glen last August, where he finished 5th.
I look at the change with Joey Logano as a chemistry situation between he and his crew chief now. And I talked to you about this the last week. There is a chemistry between guys that just click. And I brought up you, obviously DW, and Jeff Hammond. You guys won 43 races together. Chad Canals and Jimmy Johnson have won ridiculous numbers together. Dale Inman and Richard Petty over 100+ races together. There's a chemistry, and it looks as though Joey now has found that chemistry.
What you want is a guy that brings more out of you than you think you got.
Sure.
And I think that's where Joey Logano was. I think there was a whole lot more in Joey Logano than what we were seeing. And now that he has the right crew chief, right chemistry, get that confidence, I think he's showing what he can do.
Yeah, I think it's chemistry, but I think at 22 years old, and I hang around with Joey and his family a lot, is someone believing in him. And I think he felt like he had lost that with Greg Zeppedelli last year.
And so many times as we're watching Denny Hamlin post his mark crossing the stripe, Hamlin goes 5th quick at 35.842. But in Joey Logano's case, his reputation preceded him. I mean, everyone talked about how great Joey Logano was going to be, and then he was thrown right into that 20 car probably before he was ready to be in a Sprint Cup car. Let's go back trackside to Marty Snyder.
Well, Carl Edwards getting ready to go out and qualify. What do you make of this tire change?
I'm not thinking about the tire change, right?
Thinking about qualifying.
Yeah, I specifically was just watching somebody go by thinking about the tires. I was like, stop thinking about that. That's later. So right now, you know, I need to be focusing on this car right here and how it ran yesterday. And that's the key right now, is to be able to back up that lap yesterday. The sun's coming out. Looks like guys are struggling to run the same speed that they ran yesterday, and I'm hoping our fast and all forward is good. It was very comfortable in qualifying from yesterday, so hopefully it's good now.
I would say more than anything else, guys, people looking up to see when they might get a cloud, the lucky cloud, to get one on your qualifying lap.
Thanks, Marty. Again, we've talked about the tire issue. These are the same tires they have practiced on, they tested on Thursday, they're qualifying on. But tonight, 6 o'clock, right here on Speed, you'll see those new left side tires being tried out for the first time here on this racetrack. Goodyear about to mount those tires up, get them on the race car, so that they will have a practice session tonight, just over an hour long. Starting at 6 o'clock, it'll be right here on Speed.
Yeah, this left side tire, it was raced at Charlotte after the repave in 2005, the one we're going to be going to, and then they actually, it worked so well, they ran it there the next 2 years.
Right. Yeah, you can take a little break from the 24 hours of Le Mans.
That's
and
right.
Come and watch us have a little practice session here.
That's right.
The 75 minutes of Michigan.
That's right.
Additional coverage from right here at Michigan International Speedway. Jamie McMurray coming to the stripe for his qualifying run. He's 7th quick. 35.980 for the McDonald Chevrolet.
We had 6 hours of testing on Thursday and about 3 hours of practice yesterday. The only incident was Jamie McMurray scraped the wall yesterday, and there was a lot of work going on this car this morning.
Good pickup from practice, though.
Big pickup. McMurray was 197 in practice. He goes 200.111 in this qualifying run. Marty? Oh, I'm sorry, Ralph.
That's all right. We're right down here with Marcos Ambrose signing autographs for the fans. And that might have been more challenging than that qualifying lap. How was that lap?
I don't think so. That was one of the wildest laps I've ever done. You know, it was a strong lap. My Stanley team have done a great job over at Richard Petty Motorsports, giving me a good car here with these massively high speeds. But it's nerve-wracking, and I left a little bit out there. I just got gritty into turn 3 and washed up the hill a little bit. Had to ride some brakes. So we'll see if it holds. It doesn't matter, though. It's been a good couple of days for us here, and we're looking forward to the race.
You know, we talk a lot about, you got to hold my breath and all that sort of thing. Is that really what you were doing? Tell me what the sensation was like.
I was just trying to breathe, to be honest with you, stay calm. You know that very small wheel movements makes a big difference at these speeds, and so I was just trying to be calm behind the wheel and not overreact.
All right, get your Sharpie ready. You're back out with the fans.
And I think that's something we don't realize, these drivers. When you leave pit road, you are locked up. You are as tense as you're going to be all weekend when you come to get that green flag. And he said something that a lot of guys have to remind themselves. Breathe. Take some nice deep breaths and blink your eyes, clear your eyes, because you're getting ready to go for a ride, brother.
He goes to work, and it's 35 seconds. He's got to make the most of those 35 seconds. So he is focused, And it would be hard to breathe going 203 miles an hour on average around a 200 or 2-mile racetrack. Almirola coming off the track. He's 7th quick, 35.930. Biffle, can he go 204? We'll find out.
I almost got it, honey. I'm never gonna get out of here.
Don't worry. You're covered with Good Sam Roadside Assistance. Watch this. Good Sam Roadside Assistance for cars, trucks, motorcycles, and boats will have you back on the road in no time.
Great. Can you do anything about them?
Dad, we found a turtle!
This is gonna be the best vacation ever.
For roadside assistance with any vehicle, remember Good Sam. Because if it's not Good Sam, it's not good enough.
I kind of knew their reaction would be a little like, what are you thinking?
I had a knot in my chest. I didn't really want her to go, but I knew she could do it.
I felt like there were bigger and better things for me to do.
She took what she was doing seriously.
My self-confidence just went through the roof.
It was awesome to see her transform from a girl in a small town to a soldier.
You made them strong. We'll make them Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about joining the Army. Find out how at goarmy.com/parents.
Those surprising little things she does still make you take notice. There are a million reasons why. But your erectile dysfunction, that could be a question of blood flow. Cialis for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medications and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or if you have any allergic reactions such as rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a 30-tablet free trial.
Mike Bliss has locked himself into the show. He goes 14th quick in his qualifying effort, 36.404. Tomorrow, NASCAR race day, live from Michigan. Sliced bread, well, he'll be here. Make sure to find out if he saved his ride with that win at Pocono. Plus, Mark Martin joins us live, and we'll debate the decision to give Kurt Busch another chance in that 51. It's NASCAR race day, fueled by Sunoco. Tomorrow, 10 Eastern, live on Speed.
Only person that can give Kurt Busch another chance is Kurt Busch in my book. Yeah. He holds his career in the palm of his hand.
Dave Blaney on the track now for his qualifying effort. Blaney's fastest lap in practice, 198.528. Catch your breath.
He got it, and he got up in the gray stuff.
The car just didn't stick. You can see the tracker. It just keeps going to the right.
Right. He got way up in the gray stuff there. It was getting a little bit on the edgy side.
Today, Blaney 19th quick, 36.582. And it doesn't seem like he's going to go any further. Let's go trackside to Marty.
Hanging out with Greg Biffle, and you and I were talking about why guys are going a little bit slower today. You have a theory. Why?
Well, I mean, nobody knows what the grip's going to be like. We saw Pocono slow down a second in qualifying almost, but you just don't know what the grip level is going to be today. And see, the guys are about a 10th off of what they ran yesterday, so I don't know what you got to commit early on how hard to drive it, and hopefully turn 3 and 4 tells us something coming to the green, how much grip the track's got.
He also was telling me you kind of have to, in practice, build up to a fast lap. And he said the margin for error is so slim here that if you slip up a little bit, you could be 20th. He told me if I back off a little bit, I still know I can be in the top 5.
Yeah, it's a rhythm. When you're running this fast, you heard Marcus Ambrose talk about little movements in the steering wheel. When you're running this fast, off into turn 1 at over 210 miles an hour, you need to get into a rhythm. You kind of got to know where that limit is. And from yesterday to today, maybe it changed.
Michael McDowell, another one of the drivers that has to qualify his way into this race, was fairly quick in the practice session. He went 199.374 in his practice session runs.
Well, and I think when you're a go or go homer, and we have Michael McDowell, Austin Dillon, and Trevor Bayne, such a fine line here, making sure you're fast but stay to the left of that red mark, which means you would be locked in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, he was fighting that thing off turn 2 over there. It cost him some speed, but he's going to be able to make the race okay, I think.
Locks himself in. He's 19th quick, 36.577 for McDowell. Stays in the gas until he gets the word that he's locked in. We'll see if he continues on.
I think he ran fast yesterday. Had one of the faster laps yesterday early in the practice. I think he was just trying to say, look, I can run faster than what I just did. Although the car looks shaky again getting into turn 3.
But he's definitely faster, but he got locked in on lap 1. I think he has enough confidence in himself and his race car that he can run faster, and he indeed will.
Yes, sir.
Keeps digging on lap 2, goes 36.342. Michael McDowell, 198.118, and he again has locked himself into this show.
That's a pride thing right there. I want to go, I don't want to leave anything on the table. They're talking about fast speeds and qualifying speeds. I want to tell somebody someday I ran 198 miles an hour at Michigan.
Yeah, he was laying down some fast laps in that test session on Thursday.
Carl Edwards out on the racetrack. Let's take an inside look at what's happening in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Best average finish at Michigan for Carl Edwards, 8.2. Right now, I don't think he's worried about finishing. I think he's worried about seeing if he can break that 200-mile-an-hour mark.
Uh-oh. Another guy that looks like he may be aiming to do what
they're running out of fuel or something not right.
Well, I think right now what I would probably do is turn down through the grass right here and go back over to turn 2 and start. It'd be pretty good for Kevin
Would you go on the apron then also? And
I believe I would.
Let's see what Carl does. I'm pretty sure he was watching and listening.
Turns it around. And again, we've seen this done before.
Carl, did they ever build fuel pressure? I don't know. I never looked at the fuel pressure gauge. It's got fuel pressure. I'll see what I got here.
I'm not sure about that. I think what he's really doing is he either had on stickers and he wanted to knock the new off of them, and it didn't feel good coming to get the green, or he wanted to get some heat in his tires.
Right.
He saw what Kevin Harvick did, paid off for Kevin. I'm not saying that was a problem with the car, but I think this also will work to his advantage.
Well, this will be the second driver out of 28 that has done this. I remember a number of years ago at Sonoma, there was something like this going on, and NASCAR finally said, enough boys, no more.
Yeah.
So we're seeing Carl Edwards go the wrong way around this newly repaved racetrack, but it's because he didn't take the green flag for his qualifying effort, so he can go all the way back around.
Because it didn't start doing it until about right into turn 3, so I want to see if it's going to do it again.
And I definitely would go back as far as possible just to build that speed. As we spoke when Kevin Harvick was doing this, the only downside is making sure you don't get that engine too hot.
Well, he's coasting now, Larry, and he has been for quite a ways, so he should be okay there.
He can go all the way back to the start-finish line.
Oh, yeah, he can come all the way back to the turn 1 side of the start-finish line. He'll use pit road down there probably to make his turn ahead back out.
So we're seeing, again, one of the all-stars of NASCAR try a little extra warm-up for his car before he qualifies.
Well, listen to he and Bob talk. I mean, they talk about fuel pressure. Maybe there's an issue with the engine.
And we'll see.
Why are you looking at me?
We'll see. We'll see if he goes 202 like Kevin Harvick did.
Actually, maybe.
Harvick backed up his qualifying run with what he was able to run in practice. We'll see.
It's got fuel pressure. It's running like crap, though.
Well,
I never had a doubt it would have good fuel pressure.
Better run the lap or not. Let's see if it clears out, bud.
202.943 is what he ran in practice.
No,
it doesn't sound right.
There is something wrong with his car. That engine is definitely not running right.
Let's take a look at this right here, because if you remember when Kevin Harvick took the green flag, he was right at 200 miles an hour.
Rather we should run it, you guys. I mean, I guess whatever you think, it's terrible. Yeah, it's not running good, bud. Just abort here in case we've damaged something. Abort.
Well, contrary to our belief, there is a issue with the 99 car of Carl Edwards.
Yeah, he thought
6 at least.
We heard him say initially, I thought maybe fuel pressure, but Carl said he had fuel pressure.
Yeah.
So issues with the Fastenal 99 doesn't enable Carl Edwards to take at least even one lap in his qualifying run. Martin Truex Jr. coming up.
episode of Hot Pot South Bronx, Tuesday, only on Speed.
There are a whole lot of reasons to hit the open road on a Can-Am Spyder Roadster. And now we're giving you yet another. It's the Can-Am Test Ride event. Visit canam.brp.com to find out how you can take one for a test ride, whether you have a motorcycle license or not. And with special financing, you could own a Can-Am Roadster of your own for as little as $199 a month. See your local dealer for details or visit canam.brp.com.
With the new flavor pack Pizzolo from Pizza Hut, it is time to say so long to the footlong man!
Who are you talking to?
Say hello to the Pizzolo and meet Trio Italian Steak and Buffalo Chicken. Get one for $3 or two for $5. Pizza Hut. Make it great.
It's Pep Boys National Tire Event. Buy any tire at our guaranteed lowest prices. Any brand, any size. We will not be undersold. Buy 2 tires, get an oil change free. Buy 3, get the 4th tire free. Plus, store-wide savings on parts and accessories. Hurry to Pep Boys National Tire Event for the guaranteed lowest prices on tires. We will not be undersold.
Pep Boys does everything for less.
Almost tastes like one of Jack's cereals. Fiber One.
Oh, I forgot Jack's cereal. What's for breakfast?
Try the number one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Half a day's worth of fiber. Fiber One.
Can a sport change the way we think about air quality? Can it change the way we think about performance? Or even inspire pride in American ingenuity? After more than 1 million miles of racing with homegrown ethanol, we've reduced emissions by more than 20% while stepping up horsepower. It's a game changer we're proud to make.
And welcome back. NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying presented by Golden Corral here on Speed continues. Bob Osborne making the long walk back into the garage. I'm sure they're going to talk about what just took place with the 99 car. And now on the racetrack for his qualifying run, David Gilliland in the 38 is 20th quick on his first and only lap, 36.580 for David Gilliland. And let's hear from Carl Edwards. He's with Ralph.
He's made it back here to the garage. They got the hood up on the 99. They are just not going to make it easy on you this year, are they? Tell me what, I know they have to get in there and dig around and figure out what really went wrong, but what did you feel from the cockpit?
All right, first, a disclaimer about this whole thing, Daryl. This has nothing to do with last season, all right? This has nothing to do with finishing second in points. Man, this is it's frustrating. I think it's a fuel issue. I think it almost feels like, you know, there's a air leak or something in the pickup for the fuel because it's running, but it acts like it's running out of fuel. I wanted to run this lap so badly. Our Fastenal Ford is really, really good, and I told my wife before this start, I said, I'm getting this pole. I want to be the fastest guy in NASCAR for the last 25 years. That would be very special. So very frustrated we didn't get to run it, but it's better to find it now than in the race. You know, we need to have a good solid run here. We know this car can compete for the win, and now we'll just have to make sure, you know, the people ask if we can pass on this track or not. I'm feeling like we're going to be able to pass. We're going to be able to pass. It's going to be good, and we're going to have to make it happen.
All right, good luck with the guys.
David Reagan on his qualifying run goes 23rd quick at 36.609. David's best start ever at Michigan was a year ago, where he started 7th in this race. Not going to happen tomorrow, though.
And what Carl's talking about, he and I've had we've had this conversation yesterday, as a matter of fact. You know, it's like he told me, he said, look, I can't help it. We blow a tire. I can't help it. People wreck in front of me, and now he won't be able to help that something happened to this thing on a qualifying run. He kept telling me, doesn't have anything to do with what happened last year. I said, okay, I'm with you.
Look at this, guys. The tires are here. They're being brought in a truckload at a time. And again, we will show you what the effect of those tires will be like tonight at 6 o'clock right here on Speed, breaking into Le Mans competition. And now we have who was the fastest on the racetrack in the past 3 days on the track.
If there's one driver that's really glad there's a practice this afternoon, it would be Carl Edwards and Bob Osborne, because they can definitely dig into maybe what was going on with their race car.
Now, this car ran 204 miles an hour yesterday, and right now unless he does something miraculous through 3 and 4 here.
He went 204.708 in practice. How close will he be to that number across the stripe for Biffle? 35.676. That is 201.816 miles per hour. And that is one and done for Greg Biffle. Now let's go back to Marty.
Well, you see Pops Boyer across the top of Clint Boyer's car honoring his dad, Chris, and all the MWR teams honoring their dads this weekend. And I know you're probably a little excited for this qualifying lap, aren't you? Because practice yesterday was an adventure, I would say.
Yeah, we struggled in practice, but we figured some things out that I think we had wrong. Qualifying trim, we weren't bad, but we certainly didn't run that 35.17 at Biffle ran yesterday, but I just saw he didn't either. So I think I'll be a lot more comfortable with like a 35.60 than a teen. That's pretty fast. We're going to see what the 5-hour Energy Toyota's got and hope for the best.
It's a lot better when those guys don't post those big numbers where you feel like you have to go run a fast number, isn't it, guys?
Well, Marcus Ambrose has posted a pretty formidable number up there at 202 miles an hour, or 203.
That's, and really and truly, that's as close as anybody's come to what they run yesterday.
Yeah.
Harvick's right there, those two cars closer than what they ran to anybody else of what they ran yesterday.
Ryan Newman on the racetrack now. Ryan the Rocket Newman. He ran 199.358 in his practice session. We'll see if he can back that number up, maybe even improve on it. Looks as though he's flirting with 201 right now.
Yeah, he came in there, our track record holder. Looks like 26 drivers has broke that old track record.
That's a lot.
Fourth quick for Ryan Newman at 201.472 miles an hour, 35.737 for Newman. Very impressive laps already. We have 10 over 200 miles an hour in this qualifying session.
NASCAR returns to Sonoma this June for the Toyota Save Mart 350. And Save Mart Supermarkets is bringing you the best deal in town. 2 tickets for only $99. It's road course racing with a short track attitude. Call the Raceway at 800-870-RACE or visit your local Save Mart or Lucky Supermarket and pick up your 2-pack today. Part of the Big O Tires racing season. Think outside the oval.
Don't think of it as a stop. Think of it as another chance to go. Try new, stronger STP Complete Fuel System Cleaner and make the stop more about the go.
AC not cold enough? Bring back the cool with AC Pro in under 10 minutes. Simply unscrew the service cap, connect, squeeze the trigger, check the gauge. Get new do-it-yourself AC Pro, the 10-minute cold air solution.
We now offer phone service as low as $1.70 a month with Magic Jack Plus. That's $19.95 a year. $19.95 a year. No computer needed. Nothing changes. And now keep your old phone number. Get Magic Jack Plus at Radio Shack.
Bounce any checks lately? These days, banks can charge up to $30 a pop. But what about those checks you have to write? Call or go to moneymutual.com. We have the largest network of short-term lenders who could get you up to $1,000 in your checking account by tomorrow. No more bounced checks, no collection calls, no shut-off of services. Just be 18 or older with a minimum income of $800 a month. For short-term cash when you need it fast, go to moneymutual.com or call 1-800-585-CASH now.
The odds of becoming a successful NASCAR driver, 1 in 125 billion. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110.
Jamie McMurray encourages you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Austin Dillon won the pole in the Nationwide Series earlier today and wasn't able to back up that same speed here, or actually went faster, but wasn't able to do the same performance. He is 12th quick in his number 33. Now on the clock, Kyle Busch in the 18. And he's going the wrong way on the ticker there.
Yeah, looked a little edgy getting into one. He got in a little bit high, and I don't think he really intended to be quite as high up the track as he was in turn 1. Running pretty high off turn 4 here.
That Snickers Camry in practice was 199.645. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to come close to that. Kyle Busch is 23rd quick 197.028.
Yeah, I don't think that car was very happy.
Well, his teammates right now, Joey Logano is 5th, Denny Hamlin is 7th, and right now Kyle Busch is 23rd, and we're getting a report he was saying on his radio just way too loose.
And again, the sun beating down on the racetrack now during his qualifying run. It's been somewhat overcast and the sun shining on this racetrack intermittent, so Kyle Busch doesn't get the luck of the draw as far as the sun beating down on the track. Kyle Busch, one of the owners in the Camping World Truck Series, June 28th on Speed. They are back in action at Kentucky. They'll do Battle in the Bluegrass State. Don't miss the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. That's June 28th, 7:30 Eastern, live on Speed. That's a Thursday night race.
Yeah, a little Thursday night thunder. I like it.
Clint Boyer now out on the racetrack. Michael Waltrip Racing 5-Hour Energy Camry. And they have had success as of late, especially when it comes to Mark Martin.
And we're going to have to wait to the very last driver to see what Mark Martin can run, because he was the fastest in that first practice session yesterday.
We'll see what Clint Boyer has for his session. 199.917 in practice earlier. His best start here at Michigan, 3rd back in 2010.
We can hear him out of the throttle, and that's something we didn't hear much of yesterday. And you saw that car wiggle real badly. They're getting in the corner. Yesterday, these guys were able to run on down in there and feather the throttle, get out of it a little bit, but you heard him get all the way out of it.
Now the tracker from the center of 1 and 2 off started going the right direction.
I think he might be a little nervous getting in, the way that tracker kind of falls back when he gets in, but then he's able to get back to the throttle pretty hard and get off the corner a lot better than he's getting in.
Yeah, it's almost like he backed the corner up, getting into 3, rolled out a little sooner. That lap would be good enough for 9th quickest.
Not a bad run.
200.686 miles per hour. I'm starting to notice a few guys run a little bit lower than what the grooves seem to be in practice and that test session.
I think that's that thing that Greg Biffle was talking about. You don't want to get the back, you don't want to get up near the edge, kind of where the cushion is.
Right.
If you do happen to slip a little bit, you're going to get in that loose stuff up there and hit the wall. I think they're giving themselves a little bit of a margin of error. See Martin Truex here really working the wheel, getting some heat in those tires.
Back-to-back MWR cars going out on the racetrack.
We have 10 drivers left to go, including Martin Truex Jr. You can see trying to get a little bit of heat in the tires. We know that Stacy Compton will not race. We're going to have to wait to see what Trevor Bayne does, who's 3rd from the end, and David Stremme in that 30s in waiting on him.
Stremme's on the bubble. Again, as you mentioned, Trevor Bayne will be the final driver that it still has to qualify in on time. The final 10 guys qualifying all have run over 200 miles per hour in practice. So we're about to find out if they will back those up here in this qualifying session.
I like the way Martin got down into turn 1 now. He got in there nice and smooth, rolled out of the throttle, didn't jump out of the throttle.
And his crew chief, Chad Johnston, was here on Thursday for the test session, but he is at home with wife Stacy and big sister Sydney. His wife Stacy gave birth to Chase Allen Johnston last night, weighed 9 pounds. Here in Chad's probably just going to hang around the house the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, I think he'll enjoy Father's Day tomorrow from right there at the house with the newborn. Martin Truex Jr. in his qualifying run, 11th quick, 35.931, 200.384 miles per hour, which is actually faster than what he was able to run in his practice time. So Martin Truex Jr. able to improve upon his practice time, but still just 11th quick in this qualifying run.
And we've had 12 drivers go over 200 miles per hour, and we for sure have the 9 fastest drivers from practice coming up, including Paul Menard in his 27 car.
This guy right here might surprise you. Had some good practice laps. I just feel like that, but the repave, Pocono, now Michigan, these tracks are a lot like Indy. They got a lot of that same characteristics. And this guy, as you well know, won Indy last year.
Top of the charts, we have a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Ford, a Chevrolet, a Toyota. That's your top 5 right now. And now let's see if this Chevrolet can break into that top 5 party.
Well, you know, I think it was last week, I believe we were talking about, well, the track has slowed down. And then I think Mark Martin or somebody went out and set it on the pole and like faster than everybody. So, but right now it just appears that some of these, at this point, the track has slowed a little bit.
looks like Paul Menard's not going to be able to break into the top 10 on his qualifying run. He goes 12th quick, 35.976. That's 200.133. So the Menards Chevrolet outside the top 10 in 12th. Next up, see if he can go after Marcus Ambrose's mark of 203.241 will be Casey Kane. How big of a deal is it to say I've qualified over 200 miles an hour?
Well, I think it's a big deal. As you know, in the scheme of things, it may not be a big deal today, although I think most of these guys would agree it is. But down the road, I think when we look back, we may never run that fast here again. With the repave, the tires they have, we may never have a chance to do what they're doing today.
In the record books, whoever wins the pole, it will only be the 4th person ever to have a pole at over 200 miles an hour. That's because Bill Elliott was very stingy.
And these guys down there, they know that, and they want their name in the record book. And it's one of those records that may never be broken.
Casey Kane in this 5, he's on a pretty good run here. You can see he's well inside the top 5, headed off into turn 3, lost a little ground there, but now it's starting to go back to the left for Casey.
Fast.
3rd quick on the ticker right now. Can he improve that? Goes down to the apron. Casey Kane, 4th quick in his qualifying run. 201.720 miles per hour, 35.693 seconds.
His qualifying efforts this year is unbelievable. Yeah, 2 poles, but 12 top 10 starts out of 14 races, working on 13 with that run right there.
He goes a mile an hour faster than what he was able to practice at, so he's able to improve. Can the final 6 do the same thing? Let's go back trackside to Marty.
Rick, I have never in my life heard a car described as super duper comfy until yesterday. You must be happy with this race car.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, well, they're going to change the left side tire this afternoon, so we don't know what we're going to. Nobody knows what's going to happen. But, yeah, things have been going good for us this weekend. You know, we're just kind of all sitting on all hands on deck till this afternoon and get that practice in.
Are you anxious or just thinking a lot about that practice or just worried about qualifying right now?
Well, we'll go out and qualify best we can, but everybody's concerned about, you know, what's going to happen the rest of the weekend.
All right, a super duper comfy car. Junior hoping it stays that way.
That's Marty. Jeff Gordon now on the clock. We saw what Casey Kane was able to do with his Hendrick Chevrolet. Now what can Jeff Gordon do with the DuPont Chevrolet?
I get a feeling, Darrell, that car was nervous getting in the corner. You could see that tracker go dead right as he turned it off in there.
I was going to say, if that tracker's anywhere near right, he's not going to be very happy about this. Yeah, you can see the car wiggling right there, you know, early before he gets to the middle of the corner.
Right up against the wall as he comes out of turn number 4. Goes right down to the white stripe. And Jeff Gordon, 22nd quick. Definitely won't be happy with that performance. 197.922 miles per hour, 36.378 seconds. So 6 cars still to go in qualifying. Can the 2011 champion sit on the pole? We're going to find out.
Get it fixed, girly boy!
Catch an all-new episode of Hot Pot South Bronx, Tuesday, only on Speed.
I kind of knew their reaction would be a little like, you know, what are you thinking?
I had a knot in my chest. I didn't really want her to go, but I knew she could do it.
I felt like there were bigger and better things for me to do.
She took what she was doing seriously.
My self-confidence just went through the roof.
It was awesome to see her transform from a girl in a small town to a soldier.
You made them strong. We'll make them Army strong. Talk to your son or daughter about joining the Army. Find out how at goarmy.com/parents.
This is the age of knowing what you're made of. Why let erectile dysfunction get in your way? Talk to your doctor about Viagra. Ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Viagra if you take nitrates for chest pain. It may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects include headache, flushing, upset stomach, and abnormal vision. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. Stop taking Viagra and call your doctor right away if you experience a sudden decrease or loss in vision or hearing. This is the age of taking action. Viagra. Talk to your doctor.
Speed presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series qualifying for Michigan is presented by Golden Corral. Help yourself to happiness. And brought to you in part by Cabela's, your Father's Day gift headquarters. Juan Pablo Montoya, another one of the one and done as far as laps go. He is 16th quick on his first lap, 36.070. And Juan Pablo Montoya goes just under 200 miles an hour, 199.612.
Darrell and I were talking during the commercial break. Goodyear brought 5 drivers and their teams up here in early April to do a tire test. You have to do it a couple of months out. One of them was Matt Kenseth, but of the other 4, Montoya is the fastest, and you just talked about him, 16th quickest. The other drivers, Brad Keselowski, who's 20th, Kyle Busch, who's way back in 29th, and then Jeff Gordon, who's 23rd.
Kenseth now on the clock for his qualifying run. Can he outdo fellow Ford driver Marcus Ambrose, who has set the mark 203.241 miles per hour by Marcus Ambrose? If he continues to hold on to that spot, that would be the 11th fastest pole ever in the history of NASCAR.
But Larry, what a difference a day has made. And I think this track now is doing what these guys in Goodyear and everybody thought it was going to do. It's losing some speed.
Well, and I think a big key, and Rick, you did the race, is that 100-lap ARCA race from last night.
Yeah, everybody's scratching their heads as to how the track was going to change. Kenseth 6th quick in his number 17, 35.739 to a 1.461. Let's check out another American Ethanol Fast Fact. I told you guys I'd continue to throw some information at you. Teammates swept the front row at Michigan 5 times, most recently last August when Roush Fenway Racing teammates Greg Biffle and Matt Kenseth qualified 1-2. It won't go that way for them today. Kenseth currently 6th, Biffle is 3rd, but we've got Ambrose up on top with Harvick currently 2nd quick.
Tony Stewart, who was really, really fast in both practices yesterday. See what he can do here.
Tony Stewart 200.736 was his fastest lap over the weekend. Let's see if he can back that up. We've seen some drivers improve, and he is moving to the left. Look at this, flirting with the pole.
Didn't get off the corner good from center off of turn 2, and the tracker went back right a little bit.
He drove it down in the corner harder than I think anybody I've seen so far. Helped him getting in, hurt him getting off.
1 through 3 and 4, tracking top 10 now.
You can see he never is completely out of the throttle, not even in the middle of the corner, getting down into the corner.
Across the stripe for Tony Stewart, 7th quick, 35.755. Stewart goes 201.370. So he improves speed-wise, but still not even in the top 5 of the guys who have gone. 42 cars have taken time. We have just 3 remaining. Trevor Bayne, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Mark Martin.
Well, we'll see how this works out. But, you know, yesterday we were talking about we didn't think it'd make a lot of difference with qualifying starting at 1 o'clock when you went out. But apparently it's making a little bit of difference. But some of those big speeds were put up early on.
Marcus Ambrose, he was the 20th fastest. Excuse me, 20th slowest of the 45 that were here. So he went out really mid-pack when he posted that 203 mark.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm a little hesitant to say it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Trevor Bayne maybe run 2 laps, because I think first you're going to see what he's going to run on his first lap. But he's one of the guys, he's one of the drivers. He has to qualify on time. Has to get that first lap in good and solid.
Well, this young man really and truly, he's been in this situation just about ever since he's been in Cup. And I've never known him to be bashful about stepping on the gas.
Again, running a little bit lower line through the turns. We saw it through 1 and 2. It hurt his overall speed. Now through 3 and 4, a little bit lower line, but still doesn't look like he's going to be able to break into that top 5. He goes 7th quick now, 35.742.
Wow, good. P7, all good there.
That locks
Back
him in,
down.
and that locks David Stremme out. So Stremme and Compton won't race tomorrow.
And David Stremme's one of the drivers that broke the old track record, but he's going to have to load up and go to the house.
Yeah, tough qualifying effort.
Yeah, Donnie Wingo, his crew chief, had that radio keyed, I think, before he even crossed the finish line.
Back it down. He doesn't even want him to have second thoughts.
You mentioned David Stremme. Stremme currently 38th quick of everyone that's been on the track. 38 people have broken the old track record here at Michigan. And again, the fastest speed we've seen, 203.241 by Marcus Ambrose. 2 bullets left that Marcus has to dodge if he wants to be the new track record holder and the fastest man in NASCAR.
Well, this car right here, Dale Jr., has been one of the fastest cars all weekend. Put up some big numbers every time they've gone on the track, both practice and testing. So we'll see where he ends up today.
So hard to believe. Tomorrow will be his 450th career Sprint Cup Series start.
Yeah, incredible.
Not good. Not good right there. The car got a little bit loose on him right there when he tried to make that. When the car rotated, the back end moved out just a little bit, hurt his speed.
We heard Carl Edwards say earlier, before he went out, and then obviously his problems, but he talked about how it would be so cool to say that in the past 25 years, you're the fastest that's ever run a qualifying lap. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is not going to have that bestowed upon him. He goes 16th quick at 35.943. So only one more driver remaining that Marcus Ambrose has to sweat over, and it is Mark Martin.
I can't tell you how many times this year we've been in this very position with Mark Martin being the last driver to go out.
The old heartbreaker right here, because he's done it a couple of times, knocked people that have sat on the pole all day long. Right at the end, Mark comes out. I'm not sure. We'll just have to see. The sun's out a little bit more than it has been. Pretty hot out there. Got a little bit of a headwind, or a little bit of a tailwind, headwind down the front here. We'll just have to see what he can do.
Well, what we know he'll do a good job at is carrying that speed through the middle of the corner. That's what he does a great job week in and week out.
You heard him right there, Larry. He burped that throttle right back in it.
You know, here's a guy, Mark Martin. He's probably run a few races where he's qualified at over 200 miles an hour because he's run at Daytona and Talladega prior to the restrictor plates being added. So it might not be anything new, but at the same time, it will be big. And it doesn't look like it's going to happen. That tracker going way to the right.
He really bailed out getting down in the corner. Let's see if it pays off getting off the corner. Sometimes you hear them get out of the throttle and you think, oh, they're not going anywhere. But sometimes the car takes a set and you get to the throttle a lot quicker when you do that. This doesn't look good.
Got a lot of work to do through 3 and 4. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there. I mean, he's going to just have to fight to get to the top 10. Not sure he's going to accomplish that.
Car was nervous, man.
Mark Martin crosses the stripe. He is 14th quick. And what that means is Marcus Ambrose, the new track record holder and the fastest man in NASCAR. 203.241 miles an hour for Marcus Ambrose.
His teammate, Eric Almirola, he was on the pole at Charlotte, and here we are, Marcus, 2 weeks later.
Impressive runs, smiles on the Stanley guys' faces.
Introducing the Evo 4G LTE from Sprint. Evo, a device like no other. Hear what you love with Beats Audio. Capture what you love with continuous shooting. Over 7 million people already love Evo. Now, it's your turn. The HTC Evo 4G LTE, exclusively from Sprint.
From Golden Corral, the restaurant that brought you the incredible chocolate wonderfall, 2 words. Cotton candy. Yup, it's cotton candy time at Golden Corral from the folks that brought you the chocolate wonderfall.
I didn't think they could top the chocolate wonderfall.
Until now.
This must be one of those only Golden Corral kind of things.
Cotton candy and the chocolate wonderfall, both part of our endless buffet for one incredibly low price.
It's terrific. It makes me feel like a kid again.
Golden Corral, help yourself to happiness.
I pledge to secede from the kitchen.
I pledge for the porterhouse by the chicken of the pork chops.
McCormick Grillmates invites you to take your flavor to the next level. Join Grillmates and join the Grillerhood.
It doesn't matter how much paint is traded or how many fenders get bent along the way. Because what happens on the track isn't the only thing that makes this a contact sport. NASCAR. Everything else is just a game.
This copyrighted telecast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of NASCAR Broadcasting. NASCAR would like to thank all of our loyal fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Monumental day for NASCAR as we look at our Golden Corral starting grid. Marcus Ambrose and Kevin Harvick making up row number 1, but the biggest story, over 203 miles an hour for that qualifying run.
Yeah, and 203 is incredibly fast. I thought we might see something 205, but still 203 is great. But there are some guys going down the field here, Larry, that I know they got to be disappointed after their practice speeds. They couldn't back them up today.
I'd have to say Mark Martin is one of those, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. would be another. He's been fast all weekend long. Back to Marcus Ambrose. Oh, by the way, the latest entry for the showdown at Daytona in February. Or the shootout.
Shootout. Brad Keselowski, who went out early, still scratching his head, trying to find some speed.
Jeff Gordon, I mean, I know he's got to be really disappointed with that lap.
The one good thing that these guys have going for them is they're going to get in practice on a different tire. So they're going to be able to figure out a little bit as far as if they can get something for race setup and handling.
Kyle Busch, he and Jeff Burton back there, and that's got a lot of work to do. And there's Carl Edwards.
He's really glad there's a practice this afternoon. He's probably going to come to mine or your motor coach.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Carl.
David Stremming and Stacy Compton, the two that didn't make the field for tomorrow's race. But let's hear from the man who probably has the biggest smile of all. Marcus Ambrose is with Ralph.
Well, Marcus Ambrose just wrapping up some podium interviews down here because you now have your first career Sprint Cup pole. Congratulations. How does it feel to get that in the books?
Well, the Stanley team for Rich Petty Motorsports is the fastest team in NASCAR. It's just a great feeling for me just to get to drive the car, to drive for the King. Lightning fast out there. Really, I didn't know if the time was going to hold up, but I knew I got everything I could out of that race car, and just a great feeling. You know, it's my first pole, and to get a record speed at the track here at Michigan, to get a record speed for NASCAR and the current generation cars, just a great day.
He'd won poles on road courses and in ovals and nationwide and in trucks, and now Marcus Ambrose is a pole winner in NASCAR Sprint Cup competition.
Yeah, Ralph. And he is the third fastest qualifying man ever in NASCAR. Bill Elliott, Cale Yarborough, Marcus Ambrose. That's his name to that list. Thanks for joining us here on Qualifying. We are going to send you back to more Le Mans coverage here on Speed.